Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and tap in, man. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and tap in, man.
Each day I wake up and clock in. Know my family been straight, we been locked in. Offloaded some dimes off the smoke muscle. While I'm always gon' shine off the damn hustle. It's the shit that's inside, keep my mind right. Knowing Smokey gon' pop when the time's right. Let them boys be the block, get they limelight. Out the west looking gas, I'm with nine. Know they watching my page and they spying. Try to break in the circle, they spying. I'm remixing the Sprite with the C-Wop. Rolling slow caps with gas at the treetop. Why you thinking us, he got ski mop. I up top, her again, she get re-rocked. She get D in the line, feel like flesh cops. I be slanging the three, feel like red socks. Send B's and Suwoo, you get red shots. I'm on one. 38 could've loaded and don't one. Getting in moves about you. All I'm dreaming is the blues. Dreams IRL too. What it means telling you. What it means fell through. Ice on, Iceman, ice show, speed. When I blow, three, mind blown, freeze. The time on, the lead. On my wrong, retracing my steps, I'm gone. When I fell off, I turned to a dog. Ran it up, now my money too tall. Selling merch, ain't no tree or no dog. I relieve him, he think he too raw. Some breeze smokes peas in the fall. Like on hip, got him thinking of fupa. Wasn't like this, but I was influenced. Broke that dog and it's ready to bark. Dutch road is ready to spark. It's the end, but I'm here from the start. Each day I wake up and clock in. Know my family been straight, we been locked in. Offloaded some dimes off the smoke muscle. While I'm always gon' shine off the damn hustle. It's the shit that's inside, keep my mind right. Knowing Smokey gon' pop when the time's right. Let them boys be the block, get they limelight. Out the west looking gas, I'm with nine. Know they watching my page and they spying. Try to break in the circle, they spying. I'm remixing the Sprite with the C-Wop. Rolling slow caps with gas at the treetop. Why you thinking us, he got ski mop. I up top, now again, she get re-rocked. She get D in the line, feel like flesh cops. I be slanging the three, feel like red socks. Rolling gas on the tree, I'm with nine. He got shot in his spine cause he's spying.
Alright, man. Straight like that. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man. We're going to go ahead, hop right into this Cleveland Browns talk, man. There's a lot going on with the coach. Todd Monken brought in as the new Cleveland Browns head coach, man. So I'm loving it, honestly. And if you're a fan of football, you should be loving it too. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you should be loving it too. And the reason why is because all we've been screaming for is offense, offense, offense. We had a top flight defense, right? Myles Garrett break the sack record, right? And what did that lead up to? 5 wins. So for years now, we've had a quality defense. We've been looking and begging and begging and begging. Can we get something from the quarterback position? Can we get something from the offense? Our offense has been stagnant. We've been looking at our route combinations where we have 2 and 3 receivers running shallow unders all in the same area. Okay? So when you factor all these things in, and now you start to think about Todd Monken, and you really do your history on Todd Monken and see what he has going on as far as a play caller, as far as his offensive style, and I would really say styles, and that's the key point of this because it's not just one style of offense that he can run. So when you total all that up, man, it's looking like you're getting exactly what you were asking for as a Cleveland Browns fan, bro. You're getting exactly what you're asking for. Now, we got issues with Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is a little upset he didn't get the job. You know, that's kind of hit or miss, bro. That's kind of hit or miss with me, honestly. But what I will say is, offensively, you have the tools now. All you got to do is have a great free agency. Go ahead and get you some linemen in this draft, a couple receivers, and now you set up to be able to be one of them worst to first type of situations because you're going to have the availability on offense to do multiple different things. The great thing about Todd Monken is that he has multiple schemes. So on offense, he can run inside zone, outside zone, or this could be just a straight power offense. We can get in the power scheme. We can get into all these different things. We can get into RPOs. We can also get in the quarterback run. He likes a quarterback run game. Now, Shador, when you think about that, Shador, he showed that he can run a little bit more than what people think. showed that he's more mobile in the pocket than what people think. He showed that he can do some things that's positive. Now, was every moment just great? Did he have an all-star campaign his rookie year? No. But you have to total in the situation as well. Worst offensive line graded by Pro Football Focus. Worst receiving corps. Worst group of pass catchers. I'm not even going to say receivers because we had tight ends too. And although Harold Fanning, you see, I got my boy, you know what I'm saying? Got my boy, alma mater, man, right here. So, Harold Fanning had a great year. But at the same time, he had a lot of drops. Jerry Jeudy led the league in drops. What did that mean in terms of our offense? We need more production from not only those guys, but we need some other guys to step up. If Jerry Jeudy is your leading wide receiver and he's leading the league in drops, there's going to be issues. It's going to be a problem. Okay? So we need to get some top-notch draft picks. O-line, they talking about a red beard dude. We're going to get into that later too. O-line picks. We need 2 tackles, but I feel like we can probably get a left tackle in free agency. We might be able to. Anyways, man, let's go ahead and jump in, bro. Let's go ahead and see kind of what they reacting to and what the city's like as far as in Cleveland, the Cleveland media, what they are saying and what they're reacting to as far as this coaching hire.
Off the wall, you got to go deep into that one. That's kind of, go find that clip on the internet. That's kind of how I would think about it. But I probably think that he probably takes care of his things, and he put it all in a box and just walked out. I don't think he gave the bird. I think he said goodbye, and I'm never coming back. And I don't think he's coming back. But there were a lot of people who said, who cares? And then the minute they found that out, this is...
Now, what they're talking about is Jim Schwartz. So, Jim Schwartz, if you don't know, he was in the running for this job. So, there's a bunch of different people. They had Udinski, Shieldhouse. There was a lot of people. Monken was in the running, but not a lot of people weren't really talking about Monken in this hiring search. People were trying to bring up McDermott. People wanted Harbaugh. There was a lot of people that, nobody even thought about. There was people that turned us down. Mike McDaniel turned us down. You know what I mean? Udinski turned us down. So, all in all, when they hired Monken, Jim Schwartz was pretty upset. Jim Schwartz felt like, man, listen, I've been part of this, and I've been the most successful thing going on for this franchise in the last, however long I've been here. Because the offense ain't been great, but you know what has been? The defense. You know what your best player is doing? Breaking the sack record. So he felt like he was owed the opportunity, not really owed the opportunity, he felt like he earned the opportunity to coach the Cleveland Browns. Now, do I feel him on that? Yes. But at the same time, what are we looking for? We're looking for offense. Jim ain't helping us with the offense. And Monken, he not coming here to be the OC. He'd go to New York with Harbaugh to be an OC. He about 60 years old too. He looking for his first head coaching job. So you got to factor everything in, man. Circumstances that, give you these situations. But let's go ahead and keep rocking.
Just a disaster. The process, probably not great, guys. Let's be serious here. Not great. However, when it comes to Todd Monken himself, I don't think he's a bad coach. Now, everything else, though, seems to be a little bit nonsensical. You bring the guy back who, according to all the reports, was talking trash about everything going on pregame in 2019 to other coaches. Now, you can take that one or two ways. You could say, how could you hire a guy who was doing that when he worked in your facility? Or you can go, well, he's just telling the truth. It was a mess.
And now he gets to be the guy. Hopefully not that other guys get to bitch about.
Well, we'll find out here. So I don't think it's weird. I was certainly underwhelmed. No doubt. I was surprised, clearly. And you could see that at the end of the show yesterday when you were watching on YouTube.
Okay, let's break that down. You're underwhelmed about the coaching hire. What candidate were you getting that was giving you just an ultimate slate of prior history of coaching? You're talking about 2 guys that are under 40. Udinski's 30. And Shieldhouse is 36, 37? And these were the main guys that you guys were hooting and hollering for as far as coming in. Bright offensive mind, young offensive mind. We'll keep Jim Schwartz. Get one of these young guys. Okay, so what if you would have got one of these young guys and Jim still wanted to leave? Now how you feeling? Are you still high on the hog as far as your choice, as far as who you wanted, Udinski, Shieldhouse, all these guys? Doesn't make sense to me. Break down the resume. And we're going to get into that later. We got Man, listen, we got a whole resume breakdown for Monken. We got Monken's whole coaching lineage and everything he's done, and we're going to break down as far as why he's a good fit for the Browns and why he's a good fit for 12, that wrist, man. Let's keep on going and see what Ken and Lima talking about, man.
YouTube Live or listening, there's a lot of hosts who goes, I'm getting text tone. Like, there's a lot of hosts who might do that. No, that was an odd day. That was an odd moment. I was clearly surprised. There's no doubt about that. I didn't think people would react well. They reacted even worse than I thought they would. It's been 20 hours. I want to know kind of how they feel about it now. I always think time changes things. But I will say, he's not a bad coach. It's just he exists. The team exists.
He exists? He just helped Lamar get another MVP. Had him go, 40-4 on the Tubs with 4 picks? Now, granted, Lamar is a talent in itself, but damn, we don't give any credit to the schematics. We don't give any credit to the coaching. We don't give any credit to the game plan. You can say what you want to say, but Todd Monken ain't throw them picks for Lamar. Todd Monken ain't fumble the ball for Lamar. Todd Monken did not show up in the playoffs for Lamar. So when you get this narrative of he just exists, where did he just exist at? Did he just exist at Georgia with Stetson Bennett? Did he just exist with Brandon Wheaton at Oklahoma State, wherever the hell Brandon Wheaton was? When he has these guys putting up numbers, lighting it up, that's not just existing. So, I mean, that's a disingenuous take right there, because we haven't really broke down the full history of Monken. You just looking at it and going off of face value.
Yes, I think people don't know whether they're coming or they're going, and it just seems to be more the same gruel. We're in Browns prison, and somebody just shoved the gruel in the slot and closed the door. Go ahead.
Boy, the he's a good coach thing is exactly what I stood in front of a room last night. The Americans of Italian Heritage Group. I spoke to them. They got my first thoughts on all of this, and I said exactly what you just said.
Paisanos? What's it called?
It's either the Americans of Italian Heritage Club or the Italians of American Heritage Club. Either way, they let women in now. Last night was the first time they inducted 4 new women into the group. So I'm speaking to them.
Is that their tag? We let women in.
Yeah.
And this is the Cleveland media. This is the stuff you got to deal with, man. The unseriousness about the topic, bro. No, it's just foolishness, bro. Let's go ahead and tap in. Let's go ahead and tap into another one, man. Let's go ahead and see what the national media is talking about as far as this Todd Monken hire.
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
Yeah, we ain't listening there about the ad. Don't care about that. All right, let's get into it.
On first take, let's get to that really quick. The Browns, the Cleveland Browns, are going to hire Todd Monken as their next head football coach. So let's react to the Browns now having a new head football coach in place. Again, that is Todd Monken. Okay, we see Stephen A's reaction.
Let them go ahead. Let them go for right quick. Go ahead. Go ahead.
See Stephen A's reaction. Of course, Todd Monken was the Ravens' offensive coordinator the last couple of years. He will now move about in the AFC North, go to the Browns, and be their head coach. Swagoo, your reaction? You okay?
See, man, I'm an advocate for coaches that are good, and I'm not saying Todd Monken isn't good, but I'm an advocate for coaches, for black coaches as well, and these are the examples.
Okay, I'm black, bro, and I feel you, but let's go ahead. I'm not even gonna argue with it like that. Let's go ahead and look at this. Next slide, man. Let's go ahead and get over to these these good accolades, and then we'll get back to watching some videos. See what they talking about here, bro. '22 championship versus TCU. His quarterback completed 18 of 25 passes for 304 yards, 4 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns, with 6 total tubs out of his quarterback. That's Stetson Bennett for Alabama. 2021, completed 17 of 26 passes. That's Stetson Bennett again for 224 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Stetson Bennett, once again, do you know who Stetson Bennett is? A lot of people don't. Program record holder, became the first Georgia quarterback to throw for over 4,000 yards in a single season in 2022. Listen, first Georgia quarterback, the first Georgia quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards. That's under Monken. So let's stop capping, bro. Like he doesn't have anything under his belt. This is one slide, bro. We got stuff to get to. We got stuff to get to for sure. I mean, but the thing is, it really is ceasing to amaze me how you try and poo-poo Monken, and they gonna try and throw the black guys in, black this, black that.
Brings me
You're not
to
worried about it.
The young pedigree in the NFL that has done a good job, that has had opportunities, not been in the ideal situations, not getting opportunities.
Right.
To go and coach in a place that needs a reinvigoration. Go ahead, Stephen A. and Mad Dog.
I want to give this to Mad Dog real quick because we got a break before the top of the hour. So go ahead, Mad Dog, real quick. We got about a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I disagree with Steve on McCarthy. We can do that later. I'm with you, too. I don't know how Monken gets this job. 8-9 last year, of course, in Baltimore. Stefanski's a better offensive coach than he is. You want to bring in, Flores or Chris Shula? Bring in Jim Schwartz. I mean, let him be the head coach. Schwartz is a great defensive coordinator. Got the best defense in the league. Promote him. Let him be the head coach. I'm with you guys 100%. I wouldn't hire Monken too.
By the way, just as an aside before we go to commercial break, isn't this, only need a nod, yes or no, isn't this the same offensive coordinator that forgot on numerous occasions to give Derrick Henry the ball?
Yeah.
Ain't that the guy?
Correct.
Ain't this the guy? I'm just saying. You got to be kidding me. Go ahead.
So with the hiring in Cleveland now, there are 2 head coaching vacancies left. The Cardinals and the Raiders. As Todd Monken becomes the next head football coach of the Cleveland Browns. There's a lot happening here, Stan.
So that's how your national media feels about the hire of Todd Monken. Okay? Honestly, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the disrespect to his coaching legacy as far as what he's done, because he hasn't been a head coach yet. What do you mean? Shieldhouse has not been a head coach yet. Udinski has not been a head coach yet. Brady up in Buffalo, he hasn't been a head coach yet. But I guarantee there's not the same level of anguish as far as what we're talking about the coaches with. Why do we have to dive in every time it's Cleveland and everything is negative? Let's please make that make sense. Make it make sense to me. All right, let's go ahead and hop in here and see what's going on. Let's see what the Speakeasy had to say, man. Tap into Acho and them boys.
Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body liner. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time.
The perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that shit on everything.
Shake, shake.
And we got a lot to talk about here today, but we got to start off with the biggest news of the day. The Cleveland Browns have a new head football coach, as they announced Todd Monken is now the head coach for the Cleveland Browns, the former offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens under the John Harbaugh staff. Fellas, what are your expectations for Shedeur Sanders with this head coaching hire?
I got some important information for y'all. There's no better place to win cash while watching sports than Prize Picks. Football season is here and basketball season is here, so there's absolutely no better time to join. It's super easy to use. To create a MVP season under Todd Monken. As an offensive coordinator, Lamar Jackson had 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions under Todd Monken. As an offensive coordinator, you can make arguments under Todd Monken. Stetson Bennett won 2 national championships at Georgia under Todd Monken. But as a head coach, no, nothing about Todd.
Okay, now, I got a feeling he about to try and negate everything he just said. You just listed everything we're talking about, brother. But you'll advocate for Shieldhouse. You'll advocate for Udinski. You'll advocate for all these unknown coordinators that pop out of nowhere because they were on the McVay tree. Because they came from the, Shanahan tree. You'll advocate for all of these guys. Make it make sense. It doesn't.
Todd Monken as a head man gets me excited. I need to see who the offensive coordinator is going to be. That's what I need to see. But what I don't yet see, T, is like, how is Todd Monken going to command that locker room, command that group of men? And also, if I'm Shador or anybody in that locker room, why am I listening to Todd Monken? What have you won on an NFL level as a head coach?
What? Okay. That has to be quite possibly the worst take I've ever heard. Oh, that's the worst football take any young athlete ever. You're gonna say that on a national stage for young athletes to hear? Or you're not gonna listen to the head coach of your team because he's a first-year coach? How many times has a first-year coach went somewhere? Hell, Bill Belichick was a first-time coach. In his first season, you would suggest that nobody should listen to Bill Belichick because he was the first-time coach? You would suggest that nobody should listen to Tom Landry in his first season because he's a first-time coach? You would suggest that somebody that has already been through the college ranks, won national championships, been in the NFL, and went to AFC championships and all of these things, you're going to suggest that you shouldn't listen to them? Bro, what are you talking about, Acho, bro? From a former football player, bro, it's crazy. And I like a lot of Acho's takes, to be honest with you. Like, I like Acho. But this take right here, mind-boggling to me. I don't know what he was sipping, bro. You better get something new in that cup and that speakeasy, fella.
You're not even a head coach on an NFL level. So I don't even have expectations for Shador under Todd Monken because I believe any expectations I would have, he would not meet. Because why am I excited about it, T? Why?
Man, this is tough. If I'm very similar to you, really the same. I don't have an expectation. Furthermore, he's with one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. He's top 4 at worst. Couldn't get him in the playoffs in Lamar Jackson.
Okay. He was just in the playoffs. Lamar was hurt all year. Let's not act like it's just Monken. Oh, Monken couldn't get him to the playoffs. How many games did Lamar miss this year? Let's be real. I don't even know. I know it was a few. Because they came out with the white dude from Dallas. What's his name? Cooper, whatever his name is. Rush, yep. Him, Cooper Rush. They came out with Cooper Rush, thought he was going to do something. No, had to go ahead and grab Snoop. Come on, Snoop. Which they should have did that in the beginning anyway. That was just foolish. Why would you put Cooper Rush out there to run a completely different style of offense, completely different everything? He's nothing of the athlete that Lamar Jackson is. At least get somebody that's somewhat similar. Now, Tyler Huntley is nowhere near the athlete, and he's not as good as Lamar Jackson. But damn it, he got the same skill set, the exact same skill set as Lamar Jackson, just not as good. So if you had Lamar Jackson on Madden and you turned his ratings from everything from a fucking 90 to like 80, that's Tyler Huntley. So what are we talking about? Literally, reduce all of his Madden ratings by, even if you want to say 15 points on everything, that's Tyler Huntley. Run the same offense. Didn't make sense to me. But whatever. We're gonna sit here and negate Monken as though he, has no acumen whatsoever. He's just somebody that's there. But explain to me why John Harbaugh got fired because he wanted to keep Monken. Now, y'all respect John Harbaugh, right? Make it make sense.
In the Baltimore Ravens. You go away from Derrick Henry in the playoffs when, if you stay with Derrick Henry, you probably win the playoff game. Nobody is beating down Todd Monken's door to hire him. Why are you hiring him? Why are you? If I'm Swartz, I'm gone. If I'm a head coaching candidate and I don't get hired, I'm not staying on as a DC. So they're going to take a step back defensively. They will take a step back defensively. And so now, like, you got out of this early. Like, why are you? No disrespect to Todd Monken. Who else was he head coaching candidate for? Mm-hmm. Who else did he interview with?
Great question.
Who else did he interview with?
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
You were I don't know him. Is he a good coordinator? He's going to be the coordinator. He's going to hire an offensive coordinator, but you got hired because, quote unquote, you're supposed to be a good offensive. He's going to call the plays. Somebody will run the meetings.
Yeah.
Because just so you guys know, that's how it works. Offensive coordinator will run the meetings, and if he's a play caller, he's going to call the plays.
Yeah.
I'm not hiring him as my head. I would have hired Jim Schwartz because now you're going to take a step back on defense, and you may take a step back on offense.
Yep.
You had Lamar Jackson with the ball.
Now I'll give you a counter to that. I'll give you a smooth counter to that. Okay? If you hire Jim Schwartz, your DC, as the head coach, potentially at this point now, not only are you not going to get Monken or a lot of those bright offensive coordinators because they're looking to go be head coaches. They don't want to go, why would I switch offensive coordinator roles? Why do I want to switch old coordinator roles? Okay? So when you think about it, it doesn't really make sense. There's a counter to exactly what you're saying. You make Schwartz the defensive coordinator, the head coach now. Now you cannot bring in the best offensive coordinator. And Jim Schwartz is having to oversee everything now. So he's not just mainly focused on Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, the whole defense, getting them boys together. He has to develop and work with the offense. You don't think the defense could take a step back with that too?
Baltimore Ravens. And yeah, MVPs, 44 touchdowns. You underachieved. He underachieved with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. They didn't get to a Super Bowl when they should have, when they had by far and away the best team top to bottom. And you can say that was Jim Harbaugh. But when they failed in the playoffs, they failed because of their offense.
Correct. Let me ask you this, though, T. We did see
Monken had Zay Flowers fumble. Monken threw picks. Monken fumbled. A lot of excuses.
If I wanted to play devil's advocate, Todd Monken did help Lamar Jackson win an MVP. Todd Monken helped Lamar Jackson, even when he didn't win an MVP, have 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's last year when he lost the MVP to Josh Allen. Todd Monken allowed Lamar Jackson to...
And that was a charity MVP for Josh Allen. There's no way he wins that.
...to experience his most prolific passing seasons. Todd Monken allowed Derrick Henry, though Derrick Henry has always been a beast, but at 30-plus years old, to have another 1,900-yard season followed up by like a 1,600-yard season. Todd Monken allowed Zay Flowers to experience Pro Bowl, if not flirting with All-Pro success. Todd Monken has found ways to make that Ravens offense a legitimized threat. So can Todd Monken make Shador a bona fide franchise quarterback? That might be the most important question.
I'll tell you, Todd Monken has showed that he can make a lot of people a bona fide quarterback. Stetson Bennett, Brandon Wheaton, those are just two of the examples of some people that aren't that good, but he made them look good.
To answer the question, I hope so. I would lean more to yes than no.
Look at the tree. Look at the history. Listen, brother, let me go ahead and tell you guys actually what's going on. Let me go ahead and tell you guys. Give me 2 seconds. My slide wasn't working, so I'm gonna go ahead and just and read it to y'all real quick, man. Which one is it? I got you. Okay. Carson Beck. when oh my gosh, bro. When Monken was with Carson Beck, I forgot about Carson Beck. When Monken was with Carson Beck was projected the number 1 overall pick. Monken gone. Now we don't know if Carson Beck is draftable. He might be a project QB, something like that. That is crazy. Nick Mullins? This dude had Nick Mullins. Listen. Monken was coaching Nick Mullins at Southern Miss. This is 2013 through 2015. Nick Mullins set school records for passing 4,476 yards and 41 touchdowns in 2015. That is Nick Mullins. Stop playing with Monken, bro. That's Nick Mullins. Bro, are you? Stop the man. Stop it.
Shedeur Sanders was a really good college quarterback.
Yep.
A really good college quarterback. His flaws, he held on the ball a bit too much. He didn't want to take sacks. He didn't want to throw it, or he took sacks. He didn't want to throw it away because of his completion percentage, right? But if Todd Monken is going to do what he did with Lamar, great. Shedeur going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to throw the ball probably more than we should be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do they have a Zay Flowers on the team?
Questions.
Do they have that guy that we know when we need to play, we can go to him? They have a Mark Andrews on the team and Njoku and Fanning. They do have that. Do they have a Derrick Henry? Can Quinshon Judkins be that coming off an injury now that he ended his rookie year with? Offensive line-wise, how they going to be? Defensively, it's going to be very critical who he hires, who his staff is, because in the National Football League, your head coach is really the CEO. The position coaches are the ones that make the team go. Making sure the guys are crossing their T's and dotting their I's. The game plan is you really understand it, because certain coaches, they'll be like, all right, look, we supposed to get out here at 10. I'm going to let y'all out at 9:30. You better not make no mistakes. Don't let nobody see you. But he trusts that you on your shit, and they really are teaching you. Then you get some coaches, they tell you.
Okay. I feel you, TJ. But once again, do your history, bro. And I'm sure you know some history, but at this moment, you ain't talking about no history. So let me put it to you like this. Monken around the league is regarded as being a hard ass, is regarded as being somebody that's tough. Hell, he just had an issue with Lamar that soured because what? Reports come out Lamar wasn't as dedicated to the film and all that in the offseason or in time away from the facility. Him and Lamar couldn't get on the same, wavelength about certain things. He's hard on his players. He has a reputation of being a hard coach. He's not a player's coach. So, once again, can a quick AI search on Google will let you know a couple of these things before you start talking, bro.
I don't play. Wasn't my coach, but I've been on a team where coach is telling the players the wrong thing, and they get in practice and mess it up.
Yeah.
And then the head coach yell at them, and then the position coach say, "I didn't tell you that." And I got other guys in that meeting room said, "Yeah, he did tell them that," but they don't say nothing. And so whoever he hires is going to be a big deal for me. But if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I wish you good luck. If I'm the rest of the guys in that division, I'm excited about that.
I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I think hiring Todd Monken, like you said, it doesn't do enough positive for me than the negative of losing a Jim Schwartz. Because I agree with you. I don't think Jim Schwartz stays on for a head coaching or for a defensive coordinator opportunity at a team that he had a head coaching offer with. I think it's tough. It's tough moving forward.
Care Bear with a clutch point. That is fair to say that now it's possible to see your defense take a step back if Jim Schwartz's situation is unmendable. They can't go ahead and mend that fence. They can't get him back in the building. They can't smooth things over. They can't throw a few dollars his way and get him to, loosen up a little bit, Jim. Come on, rub his shoulder a little bit. Come on, Jim. Damn it, Jim. Come on, Jim, buddy. We need you. We got a good product here, Jim, buddy. Jim, buddy. That's all you got to do. But if it's unmendable, then that is a fair point. But at the same time, I would argue there's a lot of quality defensive coordinators out there. There's more quality defensive coordinators, especially with seeing a comeback in defense as last year, showed us. I would argue there's more defensive coordinators available than there is offensive coordinators. Now, I'm not saying they're Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is obviously an elite defensive coordinator. I would argue he's probably a top 3 defensive coordinator in the league. Let me know in the comments if he's not. But personally, I agree with what Care Bear is saying. But the issue with the team has been the offense. We've had a number one defense. Over the last 4 years, statistically, the Browns are the number one defense in the league. Over the last 4 years. Not this season, that season. Over the last 4 years, statistically, we've had the best defense. Shout out to Jim Schwartz for that. But also shout out to the players. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, all them boys. The new guys, Schlesinger, D. Bush, all them. What does that want us? What does having an elite defense want us? Nothing. We need to get some damn points on the board. We need to move the football. We need to solidify our quarterback position, which it can be solidified with 12 in there, and we're going to see what Monken do. But I think Monken and 12 got a, pretty good relationship. We're going to talk about that later, too.
Now, Shedeur Sanders, as it stands right now, he has a better, in my opinion, offensive play caller than what we've seen out of Kevin Stefanski the last 2 years. How do I sound dumb?
Okay. What?
We've seen the last 2 years.
What? Yeah, he better retract that. He just better retract that. I know he's tripping.
I'm doing the last 2 years. Come on now, that was a nice little. Over the last 2 years, Todd Monken has shown to be a little bit better of a play caller than Kevin Stefanski. Now, we haven't seen Kevin Stefanski really go out there and have to develop a quarterback. We just haven't seen it.
Can I ask you a question?
Todd Monken go out there?
Can I ask y'all three a question?
Please, sir.
I'm just, because we just stand in division.
Yep.
Which hire is the worst? McCarthy or Monken? Steelers or the Browns?
Monken by far. Monken is the clear worst coach in that division. Clear. Jesse Minter has at least commanded a number 2 defense without a bunch of stars in their prime. Like Derwin James, shout out to him.
Monken has had top scoring offenses every year he's been in the league. He's had a top scoring offense.
Lil Mack has been 30 years old. And Jesse Minter this past year commanded a number 2, number 3, number 4 type of defense. 2 years ago, they had a number 2 overall defense. So he's exciting. Boom. Mike McCarthy, even with the Dallas Cowboys, they won 12 games 3 straight years. Sure, they got to the playoffs, they fell short, but Dan Quinn, I'm looking at you against the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Dak Prescott didn't play well at all there. Zach Taylor hasn't been well in a couple seasons, but you know Zach Taylor personally, I'm sure. Second year, goes to a Super Bowl. Second year with Joe Burrow. So I'm excited about all 3 of the other coaches. Todd Monken, what's there to be excited about? You have Lamar Jackson, congratulations. And you got bounced? You only put up 17 points in a championship game? That's all you could muster up with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? That's it? That is it. I got excitement about all the other coaches. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question to that question, though?
Please.
If you did hire Jim Schwartz, do you feel any better about his placement?
No.
At least you feel like we're going to be really good on one side of the ball.
Yeah.
You're going to be. Do you feel like they're going to be really good on offense because of Todd Monken? Now, whoever they bring in on defense, you know what Schwartz did with them.
Correct.
You cannot take a step back.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that happen with certain teams.
Yeah.
Look at the Jets with Robert Saleh. Look at them without him.
Talk about it.
So now, at least if you hire Schwartz, I know on one side of the ball, we going to be right.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
The other thing that kills me is like, I'm just tired of Band-Aids for the Browns when things need reconstructive surgery. Todd Monken is a Band-Aid hire. Just slap it on. But there's bleeding profusely from the bones of the Browns organization, bruh. You cannot have a Todd Monken slap a Band-Aid on something. We have offensive line issues. We have wide receiver issues. Our running backs need to get healthy. Our quarterback needs to grow. Todd Monken is a 63-year-old Band-Aid. That is not a long-term solution for something that needs reconstructive surgery, bruh. Like,
all right. I heard enough of my guy Acho. Bro. So, one thing that I would like to add to what they were saying, and that they didn't seem to mention, and nobody seems to mention, is the multiple nature of Todd Monken's offenses. And what I mean by that is the availability to do whatever the talent on the team suggests we should do. So a lot of times you have coaches that have a specific scheme, they can go from Atlanta, let's just say they go from Atlanta to Cleveland to Buffalo to LA. That playbook is the exact same playbook. Don't nothing change. So there's offensive coordinators who definitely have a singular playbook. Todd Monken, on the other hand, seems to have developed a method in which he can switch his offenses up based off of personnel, based off of the defense he's going to play, based off of whatever he sees schematically that's going to work against said opponent. Okay? So when Todd Monken comes in, if we're running a zone type of offense, and I talked about this earlier, if we're running a zone type of offense, a zone run scheme, okay, he can switch this up, and now he can get us in a power eye, running power offenses instead of zone. We can have man-to-man blocking instead of zone blocking scheme. Things like that. The passing game. He can go from a power passing stand or a play action type of offense to then open it up with the spread. Open it up, getting a West Coast type of feel. He can do all types of different things as far as his schematics and what he does. And I mean, you've seen him do that with Lamar and with the Ravens. Why do you think they've been so prolific on offense? I don't think his coaching is why they fall short in the playoffs. Trust me, I definitely don't think that's the decision. Anyways, man, we're going to go ahead and slide over here and talk a little more about this. We're going to watch a couple more videos, though.
As we take a look at this, you got two receivers split out to the right. Looks like they're getting some man coverage over here from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You've got a big line right here. You got your 5 offensive linemen. You got a big tight end right here. And you've got Patrick Ricard, who motions into kind of that offset I formation on the strong side of the formation. Right now it's balanced. He goes over there. So you see the 2 linebackers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They move over as well. But it's just well-executed, good physical football. Lamar says, all right, we're good. Can, here we go. They still don't change anything on the down lineman. So the down lineman, you have a gap here in the A gap, and you got out here lined up with the tackle, and you got somebody in a wide 9. On this side, you only have the 1-2. You have a defensive back here. Now the linebackers, they shift over, but watch as the action unfolds. Lamar says, we're good to go. Because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys on this side. You're going to get, obviously, your center moving over there as well, Linderbaum. So here we go. So it's kind of a move this way. We're going to get a double team here. Macari, I don't know if he could kick out, go around it, but he's going to go get to that next level, and Ricard is going to get here. So what you're going to have is double, and now we've got this lane. Look at this wall by the op.
And what that is it's not from that guard pulling or that guard pushing up to the next level. That's not a specific player block. That's a first opposite color. That's what your O-line coach is going to tell you, man. First opposite color. We're coming through here. Whatever the first opposite color is, we're walling them off whatever direction he's breaking. If he's breaking left, we're walling him off there, and we're going to allow the back and make a cut off of our block in that scenario.
Offensive lines. They all get to the inside shoulder of the guys that they're blocking. Look at it again. Inside shoulder, inside shoulder, inside shoulder. Linderbaum's right there. Macari's going to be able to peel up. Double here. You've got Ricard here. And really the only person that can make this play, because look at them get off of that block. Look at Stanley and Charlie Kohler get off that block. You get off the initial block. They drive him back, get to the second level, seal that off. So this is going to be the only person.
Now what we are going to need is we are going to need offensive linemen that can do that. Because that's what we've been missing. And a lot of pass protection. But we need offensive linemen. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries, People that's been hurt, banged up, getting older, ready to retire, all these different things. And if we have some guys that can move and get, to that next level and start getting some separation or getting upfield on their blocks instead of being at the line of scrimmage on every block, then you'll have more holes for Quinshawn to be able to hit, more holes for Sampson to be able to hit, more holes for Rocky Sanders to be able to hit. So that's going to allow that if we get some pieces that can do just what we're seeing happen right here.
Person that can make this play now. That's it. And gone. Look at this wall right here. And then Derrick Henry, all I see, foot in the ground. Whoop! You over pursued. And he is gone. And look at this. You got an offensive line that's fired up. Look at Linderbaum right here. He wants touchdown. It's not going to be a touchdown. But look at everybody on the sideline. They're fired up. Look, he's dancing with him. How about it? So it's an offense having fun. An offense blocking well. They finally get Derrick Henry down right around by the goal line. But again, using the leverage, using that late motion, and then good fun.
Now, let's talk about his relationship with Good 12, man. Let's talk about his relationship with Good 12. All right? So what nobody wants to talk about, man, one of the things that nobody wants to talk about is the fact that the Ravens were one of the teams that was reported to want Shedeur. They had a lot of interest in drafting Shedeur at whatever point in the draft. Them, the Eagles, and there might have been a couple others, but at the end of the day, Shedeur ended up telling them no because he didn't want to sit behind anybody. He wanted to go to the situation that he felt was going to give him the best availability to play and to play early. So obviously going behind two-time MVP Lamar, Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts, you're really not getting no tick there, bud. So in his mind, it was better to go to somewhere like Cleveland, like a New York Jets, somewhere like that, to be able to get on the field immediately. So all that to say, Monken and them were very interested in getting Shedeur. Monken reportedly has been trying to recruit Shedeur to Georgia when Shedeur was in high school. So he was trying to get him to go to Georgia. You know, Shedeur chose to stay with Coach Prime and, you know, go do that. And that worked out for him, as we see. But let's not act like there's not something in the bills here. This is somebody that believes in Shedeur. Whether all the media in Cleveland doesn't believe in Shedeur or not, this is somebody that sees what 12 can do, sees the potential. Now, if he can fine-tune some of these elements, get some pieces around him as far as blockers and protection, this might be the making of something special. Because I'm telling you, with the history of one Todd Monken, you can see he can do something with it. Boy, that boy can do some damage with a quarterback. He get him a quarterback that's just, quarterback ain't even got to be good. Quarterback just got to be able to diagnose a little something. If you can do two things well, he going to get the best out of you. And I'm really expecting, you know, to see that with Shedeur. Let's go ahead and kind of take a little examination of this interaction between Coach Monken and Shedeur, and let's see if we can pick up any context clues, any body language clues, anything that'll allow us to see a little bit of what that relationship is going to be like in the future.
Going in at.
Oh yeah, rich man.
Young man. What's up, Casino? How you doing? Welcome back to the States.
Hey, AB, get up off me real quick. You see how you wasn't even worried about AB though? Hey, you see how you wasn't worried about AB? Hey. All right, AB, get up off me though. Real one. This is who I got to talk to right here with that playbook. You know you got to run me that.
How we doing, man? Good. Yeah, we tried to draft your ass last year.
Whoa, off the top. Hey, we tried to draft your ass last year. Yeah, you know we got to talk about that. You ain't want to come see me. I've been trying to get you since Georgia. Come on.
It's all worked out. Yeah. You remember that, right? Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you. Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, sit down. What's going in at?
I just want to notice. I ain't hear nothing about bringing nobody in. It seems like he real happy to meet 12. It seems like he real happy to meet that guy, don't it? It don't seem like we about to be moving on from you. We about to bring in a bunch of competition. Malik Willis, Mac Jones, all these guys. Stop it, bro. 12 is the movement, man. Let's watch this one more time. I want y'all to watch how he shrug off AB, though. Now, before, him and AB always lock up and give a good depth and talk for a second. That boy trying to meet the new coach. He trying to get right with the coach. Watch how he slide past AB real quick.
Oh, yeah. Hey, young man. What's up, Casino? How you doing? Welcome back to the States. How we doing, man? Good. Yeah, we tried to draft your ass last year.
Get over here.
It's all worked out. Yeah. You remember that, right? Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you. Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that. Yeah.
Boy, that's the energy of, come here. I finally got my guy. I've been trying to get you since forever, man. I finally got my guy. That's what kind of energy that showed me right there, man. Honestly, I feel like this is something that Cleveland media for sure doesn't like to see. They don't like to see Shedeur getting that kind of love from the coach. You know, they ready to ship Shedeur up out of town for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but it seems to me a little personal vendetta, whether they hate Prime, whether they hate, you know, Prime equity, whether they hate anything he's doing at the Jersey game, they hate the Pro Bowl nod. I mean, anything that they can hate on, they're finding something to hate on. let's go ahead and hear another voice real quick before we get up out of here. We're going to hear from my guys, man. My guys got to cook. Peterlin and Nick Wilson on the board. Yes. Yeah, I'm saying we here.
Mount Union man, gotta say that. They win a
Union
lot
man.
there. Also, former NFL wide receiver Cecil Shorts III. Cecil, welcome to the show.
Shout out to Mount Union and Purple Raiders. You know they right up the road, Alliance, man. Right up the road, Alliance. Shout out to Purple Raiders, man.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
We're doing all right here. I think we've been one of the more pro-Monken shows here. So I guess we'll start with your reaction to the Browns hiring your former coach, Todd Monken, from back in the day in Tampa Bay, here in Cleveland as a head coach.
I was shocked. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought they were going to go with one of the young offensive-minded guys.
Now, everybody was shocked. But that's a great answer, and that's a different answer. Everybody was shocked because nobody expected that. Everybody was shocked. But all the disappointment and the outrage and the, oh my gosh, they hired Monken. At first reaction, it was a little shock value, like, what are they doing? But once you go down and really read what this dude been doing, I like the hire a lot.
I just knew, and from the reports being seen, it was going to be the guy from the Rams or another guy out there that was young and up and coming and kind of going with the trend, right? So I was shocked because I didn't hear about Coach Monken's name a lot. But if I sit back and look at it now from the perspective, this could be a really good hire because of the type of person that he is, the type of leader that he is, the type of man that he is, the type of demand he'll have, how relational he is. So I think it's a good hire. I don't think it's attractive to maybe Acho, who he said something ridiculous today, which I don't want to talk about. Oh my gosh, I don't want to get on a rant about him. That was ridiculous. But it might not be the most attractive hire, but it's a solid hire. And he knows the game. He's a winner. The last two stops, he's done nothing but winning, whether it was in Georgia or whether it was in Baltimore besides this year. So overall, I think it's a really good hire. Just my first initial reaction was I was shocked.
But now it sounds like you want to yell about Emmanuel Acho. The floor is yours.
Listen, for a guy to go out there and say why would Shador listen to him if somebody's never been a head coach? Like, it doesn't even make sense. He's been coaching for 37 plus years. Nothing but winning all across his platform. Tons of experience, tons of guys he's impacted. It just didn't make sense to him to go out of his way and talk about a guy like this is his first year ever coaching in sports, period. This dude's been coaching for 37 plus years. And I've been one of the guys he's impacted, right? From not only a football perspective, but a man perspective. And I expect more when media guys get out there and communicate. I know it's about clicks and getting people to get.
You hear what he just said? Did y'all really hear what Cecil just said? Dub that back. Y'all might have been watching me fiddle-faddle around in the background, but you should have been listening to Cecil Shorts right here. Dub him back.
Like, it doesn't even make sense. He's been coaching for 37 plus years. Nothing but winning all across his platform. Tons of experience. Tons of guys he's impacted. It just didn't make sense to him to go out of his way and talk about a guy like this is his first year ever coaching in sports, period. This dude's been coaching for 37 plus years. And I've been one of the guys he's impacted, right? From not only a football perspective, but a man perspective. And I expect more when media guys get out there and communicate. I know it's about clicks and getting people to get attention to what's going on, but people will do that if you put out good content. People will do that if you talk about legit stuff and think about it and put some effort behind it. Not just go out there and then talking outlandishly about things that don't even make sense. And he knows that. I don't care what he says. He knows that was a dumb comment he made about Coach Monken.
So when it comes to, you mentioned about the impact Todd Monken had on you as a player and as a coach, can you speak to that directly for us?
Absolutely. Just one thing about him, he's 100% straightforward. Doesn't beat around the bush. And when you're in that type of business, that's what you need to.
100% straightforward. You hear what Cecil just said, man? He said he's 100% straightforward. One of the things we've been dealing with Kevin Stefanski for a minute, man, is how he acts at these press conferences, how he acts as far as dealing with players. Everything is always a political type of answer. Everything is always, weirdly standoffish, but he's not going to give you any detail on anything. He's not going to press anybody. He's not going to... Nah, Todd Monken is a straight shooter. So you ask him a stupid question at a press conference, you might get a stupid response. You're not going to be able to do all the same jargon, games, rhetoric. You're not going to be in his back pocket like you was in Stefanski's back pocket. Cleveland media. So that's one thing that they upset about. They're not going to have that key into... The Browns are telling me that Shedeur can't even hit his first read when he sees him. The Browns are telling us that Shedeur, he can't even give the play call in the huddle. The Browns are telling us that. That's all they can say. You know why? Because Stefanski was feeding them that trash, because they all go out and have cocktails and mimosas and shit in the offseason.
Here as a player, even if it's a tough conversation, he knew how to be relational. He knew how to talk to everybody in the room. He knew how to communicate with everybody in the room. So I was in the room with Mike Evans and Russell Shepard and Vincent Jackson, rest in peace, myself and a few other guys. He was in there with guys that are free agents, that guys like Vincent Jackson that were on the 12th and 13th year, guys that were on the Hall of Fame trend like Mike Evans when he was in his younger days. And he had middle of the road guys like me in there, but he knew how to communicate with everybody. He knew how to sit me down and say, hey, you're not going to start this week because of A, B, and C. We simply drafted this guy, and we're going to see the best out of him. That's how the business works. It sucks, but this is what it is. And I was like, yes, sir. Thank you for being honest with me. That's what I wanted to hear. So for me, I knew how to have hard conversations. I knew how to take that hard information and turn it into a good. Now, you know what? Let me just take that, soak it in for a second. All right, cool. Let me go out there and continue to work hard. So him just being honest, him just being straightforward, him being a no-nonsense type of guy every single day, him being so consistent in how he approached the game every single day, I can see him doing the exact same thing I know he's going to do the exact same thing with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and everyone we've talked to, by the way, just said glowing things. I don't think anybody thinks he's a bad coach by any measure. But I do wonder, though, if he's as good as everybody's saying, why
Nobody thinks Monken is a bad coach. He's just not the sexy coach, the sexy pick of the litter. He's not the guy that everybody had that eye candy on. Everybody was worried about the bright, young offensive mind. Everybody wants somebody that's under 45. Everybody wants one of these guys from the McVay, from the Shanahan, one of these trees. Because that's the trend. The NFL is a game of trends. As you can see, the game has evolved because it's trendy. It's trendy to run the spread. It's trendy to run the RPO. It's easy for the quarterbacks to pick up, and that's what everybody's doing. Everybody does it now. Just like defense is making a comeback. Defense was fading away before, we thought. Now defense is making a comeback. I guarantee you within the next 5 years, write this down, in the next 5 years, power tailbacks and power style offenses make a comeback. Guaranteed.
is it? Why has it taken him so long to actually get a head coaching job in the NFL?
Well, I think a few things. Number one, everybody's path to success is different, right? And if you look at what he's done in Georgia, outstanding 2 national championships, outstanding offensive coordinator job there. When he came to Baltimore, I think Lamar's best season as a pro was under Todd Monken, right? Some of their best seasons as an offense was under Todd Monken. And I think he gets overlooked a lot because he's not the flashiest. He's not the biggest name. He's not the youngest guy, right? So I think he gets overlooked a lot. But his resume speaks for itself the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Like, he's been exceptional at what he does. And he's been very productive at what he does, especially his last 2 spots. So I think that's some of the reason why. Not the youngest guy, not the most flashiest guy, whatever the case may be, not the trend, right?
Man, Cecil speaking on exactly what I'm talking about. It's crazy work. Anyways, let's go ahead, before he go any further, let's go ahead and break down some of the quarterbacks that he's worked with as far as Todd Monken. I'm talking about he being Todd Monken, who he's worked with. Baker Mayfield, 2019 Cleveland Browns, threw for a then career high 3,827 passing yards. Monken got that out of Baker, a career high. 2017 through 2018, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he had Ryan Fitzpatrick, part of the 2018 unit that led the NFL in passing offense. 320 yards passing per game under Todd Monken. Let's get clear about some of the stuff we're talking about. Let's stop poo-pooing records and resumes because we want the young, sexy pick. We want the guy from the McVay tree. We want the guy from the Shanahan tree. Let's stop mincing words and let's start actually putting facts and pen to paper. Let's look at this. Jameis Winston. Can I keep going? Jameis Winston, 2016 through 2018. We all know Jameis got a turnover bug. But damn it, he can sling the ball. Listen to this. In those 2 seasons. Hold on. No. 3 seasons. Excuse me. 3 seasons. He threw for 10,000. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. 10,586 yards and 43 touchdowns over 3 seasons. That's crazy work, bruh. That is crazy work. My boy throwing 3,500 on a dime. 3,500 yards every season, regardless. Lamar Jackson. We already know this. We should know this. Won 2023 NFL MVP. And he was the NFL's top offense in 2024. Number 1 offense. Under Monken. Let's stop poo-pooing, bro. Accolades. It don't make sense how we can get all these narratives and all these different things. Now, we wanted offense, right? We wanted offense. We want somebody to cook with Shador, somebody to be able to develop a passer, develop a quarterback. Damn, I'm telling you, this dude is developing quarterbacks. Let's go ahead. Let's see somebody else, because I know it's somebody else. I'm going to be irritated when I see this in here, when I see this. Brandon Weeden set the school record for passing at Oklahoma State in 2011 under Todd Monken. Brandon Weeden set school records for passing yards and completion percentage, became a first-round pick in 2012. Brandon Weeden, and he went to 1 Cleveland Browns. Do I got to keep going? I'm gonna hear my boy Peterlin cook a little bit. I want to hear Peterlin cook, and I'll get back at you with some more of them Monken stats.
Everybody looking for the next. Who's the next McVay? Who's the next Clint Kubiak or Kingsbury, whatever the case may be, right? Who's that next great offensive creative mind? The next Ben Johnson, where he's been consistent. Like, he's been solid. He's been just a dude that's been getting the job done year after year after year. Even when he didn't have Lamar Jackson, they had to put in a year. They had to put in some backups there. They were still figuring out how to get the job done, and he's doing it at a high level. So I think that's why he's kind of getting overlooked, but I do think it's a solid hire.
Cecil Shorts here on the Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline. Cecil, when it comes to the Browns' perspective here, what do they need to give Todd Monken for this thing to work out, and for not just for him to be a hire, but for him to get a fair chance to show that he's a good hire?
Oh, great question. They need to draft well. They need to really put some assets into the offensive line. They really need to put, whether that's you draft offensive lineman early with your first pick, whether that's you going out and using his relationships that he's building. And hear me out. He's a really good relational guy, right? So to this day, I can pick up the phone right now and call him. You know, he's like that with all of his former players, his teammates, his coaches, whatever the case may be. He's really relational. So use that to your advantage. Go out and get a Tyler Lindenbaum from the Ravens. Go out and get a George Pickens who played under him at Georgia, right? Go out and get an Isaiah Likely that you can possibly get for a bargain because he didn't have the year he wanted to have last year. Bring him to go with your young tight end that you have, right? You can go out there and give him assets on the offensive side of the football. If you can do that, because you already got your running backs. You already got your running backs. You already got your defense. You still want to see more from Shador, right? But you got to surround Shador and Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson and all these young guys with pieces that can help elevate their game. I think if you do that with the draft and free agency and possibly moving some cap space around, making trades, being bold about it, you can see some things go well for Todd Monken early on. I also think you got to figure out this Jim Schwartz situation. I don't know what Todd has to do. I know for me, though, I'm pretty sure Todd's on the phone, communicating with him, maybe even flew in or flew him out, whatever the case may be, said, hey, we can make this work. You know, it wasn't nothing to do with me. What you have going on between you and the organization, I get that. But what we can do is something special. And what you did with this defense last year is the real deal. We don't want to mess that up. Let me fix the offense. You could be the head coach of the defense, run that thing how you run it, let me be in charge of the team and help this offense go, and we can get something going. So I think if he can do that, you can see some success earlier than later.
Do you believe he can take Shedeur to another level?
If he gets the assets around him, I do. I truly do. Just being around him in a football.
But that's what it comes down to, the assets around him, because what we got right now ain't cutting it, especially on the offensive line and in the receiver room, to be honest. But offensive line, predominantly, we have to solidify the blind side. We got to solidify our tackles. We got the worst tackles in the league. I don't care what anybody says. We have the worst tackle play in the league. Cam Robinson, got to go. We need somebody in there. Give me Malik Noah. Give me Big Red Beard. Give me somebody, bro. But we need something on the offensive line. Once we get to pass catchers, when we start talking about the pass catcher position, as far as what we need a big body target on the outside. We got enough. We done had a million little fast guys that run the little quick routes and all that stuff. We got Bond for that. We got a couple guys that can do that. We need a big body target on the outside. Somebody that's a possession receiver. Somebody that's running a full route tree from the outside, not the inside, the outside. That's what we need.
Ball setting and knowing how there's no set system he feels like he has to be in. He has to run this, he has to run that. He's open to doing what's best and what his players do well. So he's going to learn what Shedeur does well. He's going to know what Shedeur doesn't do well. He's going to help run the football. No matter where he's been, he wants to run the football, which will open up the play action, which will open up things down the field, which will open up the entire playbook if you can run the football, right? So I do believe he can get the best out of Shedeur, but also that comes with, like I just mentioned, you've got to get the offensive line in there. You've got to figure out ways to add pieces, develop DeJuan Jones, develop these guys, maybe bring some of these older guys back, or go out and spend some money. And I don't know the cap space situation. I know it's kind of shifty or kind of icky with you still paying Deshaun and others, right? But you got to figure out ways to get that offensive line bolstered big time. If you can do that, I think you'll see some good things from Shedeur.
Cecil, looking to somebody else that was on the staff in Tampa Bay with you that is now up in Cleveland with Todd Monken is George Warhop, the offensive line coach. I know you're a wide receiver, but did you have any dealings with George, or do you have any kind of knowledge about kind of what he brings to the table?
So early on, I knew I wanted to be a coach. I knew I wanted to be a coach. So while I was in the league, to this day, honestly, I love watching coaching. So whether it was me in the meeting and I'm just watching Coach George just get after somebody, he's a strict dude when it comes to offensive line. He's a no-nonsense type of guy. He's a demanding guy, not demeaning, but very demanding about what he wants to get done. He will call you out. We're in team meeting rooms, and he'll call you out in front of everybody. Or he'll say, hey, that's my guy doing really well in front of everybody. Or he'll take up for his guy, whatever the case may be, right? He owns his room. And that's what's needed when it comes to the offensive line right now. They need somebody that's going to be taking full ownership of what's going on and be holding these guys accountable. He did a really good job in Tampa Bay, talking about George Warhop here. He did a really good job developing Donovan Smith, because Donovan Smith was a former first-round pick, I believe, out of Penn State. Maybe he's in Kansas City right now. I can't remember where he's at. But he did a really good job developing him when he was a young pup. So he was a year or two in the game when I was there in Tampa, and he did a really good job getting the most out of him and developing him and pouring into him and holding him to a standard, right? Holding him to an expectation. And he was so consistent. Honestly, he's the same guy that Monken is, just in the offensive line form.
Off topic, real quick. Peterlin looked fried on it. Right there, boy. That boy Peterlin, that boy looked fried. Hell you on.
Like, they're going to be strict. They're going to get the best out of their guys. They're going to hold them accountable. They're going to love them when they do well. But when they don't, they're going to let them know it. And then the guys know, like, okay, I need to step my game up. So I'm excited that you got George in there, because I think that'd be a big step up from the previous year.
So I got to ask you, because you're a wide receiver then, with Jerry Jeudy, when you watched last year, and I know you pay great attention to this Browns team, when you watched last year, did you think to yourself, like, he's just in an impossible situation, or was he the one that was causing a lot of the situation and the problems when it came to his performance in particular?
He didn't play well. That's just what it is. He didn't play well. He did not have a good season, and it was on him. The drops, the consistent drops week after week, the fumbles, the attitude he had, his ability to not make the big catch or the 50-50 ball, that's on him. Like, you got paid money. It's on you no matter who's the quarterback, no matter what the situation is. If you're a true number one, you get the job done. That's just what it is. So for me, and I'm a Jerry Jeudy fan, but for me, last season showed me he's not a true number one receiver. He's more of a complimentary guy. He can be a 2 or a 3, right? But he's not a number one at all. And you don't want to have to depend on him to be a number one, because he showed you in critical situations, whether it was third down, whether it was big plays down the field, whether it's him making big drops, that he's not a consistent number one. And for me, that was disappointing. Because after the year before, I'm like, okay, maybe we can do something. He had a big game against Denver, his revenge game a couple years ago. And then this year comes, it's like, man, it was a letdown. But I think this is what he's been consistently. He's been consistently a 2 or a 3 receiver. That's who he's been consistently. So that's what we got to believe, what he puts out on film. So I don't think it's nothing to do with everything else. You can blame the play calling. You can blame the 4 or 5 quarterbacks, or 3, 4 quarterbacks, or maybe 4 or 5 quarterbacks, whatever it was, right? You can blame all that. But when the ball came your way, as a receiver, it don't matter who's throwing it. If it's catchable, you got to catch it. If you're a true number one, it would be no question that you were true number one. He's not that guy. He's more of a 2 or a 3. And I'm leaning towards 2.5 and a 3, just to be honest with you. I would try to revamp that room as much as I can.
Cecil, our listening audience might not realize this, but we are within about 8 weeks since you were named as the next head football coach at Houston Christian down in Texas. So I want to know, has it sunk in yet that you've fulfilled this dream of being the head coach?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. It's still surreal. I watched my dad be a head coach in Cleveland, Ohio for 2 decades. He's still a head coach at track right now at Brush High School. So I watched him make an impact on numerous kids' lives over and over and over and over again. And now I get to do the same thing and possibly coach with my youngest brother, AJ Shorts, as well at Houston Christian High School here in Houston. And Texas, just like Ohio, in Texas, it's big. Like, it's a big deal when you play football, high school football in Texas. So for me to get this opportunity to pour into kids, to really help revamp this program and make something special out of it, it's an exciting time. I think I got named, I guess, about 8 weeks ago, but I only started whatever the first week back from January was. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been awesome, man. Everything I could dream of, it's been that. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, it's awesome to hear, and we're excited for you. And, if you start climbing up the ranks, maybe 5, 6, 7 years from now, let's say you take over, maybe go to college. Maybe you're in Oklahoma or you're in Texas. Remember Nick and Jonathan, because we're not really going to be helpful as coaches.
Maybe good get back guys though.
But we are comedy.
We are comedy at times, man. You know what I'm saying? At times. All right, bro. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with that, man. My final thoughts on things as far as the Todd Monken hire and Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns situation in general. I think it's going to move in direction that we want it to, as far as real Browns fans. I think we're going to see a little bit more out of the offense this year. The defense, depending on what happens with Schwartz, I still think the defense will be respectable. I think the defense will be good. I don't know if the defense will be as good as they were last year, but at the same time, I honestly feel that we have the potential to go from worst to first, or we had the potential to be complete dog water. So it's up to us as far as what we going to be. But one thing I hate, though, is that the media is just every year so negative. Oh, we're going to lose, we're this, we're that. This is a 5-win team. This is a 3-win team. Man, stop. We're going to go ahead and put some pieces together, and we're going to do something, bro. We got 12 on the roster, so that's what we need, man. Put some pieces around the guy in this wrist up time. It's time to dust him off, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, at the end of the day, Monken is going to bring a different sense of energy, a sense of enthusiasm to this offense. He's going to bring something that we haven't seen as far as dynamic routes, route trees, and play calls as far as things that's designed to get people open in space. Not a lot of things that we saw. We didn't used to see a lot of motions and all those kind of things, receivers crossing formation before the ball snap, things like that. I also think we're going to see a minimal amount of pre-snap penalties. The amount of pre-snap penalties, the false starts, you know, the illegal procedures, you know, all those different things, all the holdings and the face mask and all those offensive penalties that were drive killers, time in and time out for Browns fans. I don't think we're going to see a lot of those things this year. I think we're going to see a significant amount of the pre-snap stuff cut back, and I think we're going to see a lot more dynamic play calls as far as the offense. We're going to see people running open down the field. We're going to see the ball aired out a little bit, man. Y'all let me know in the comments what's happening, man. Your boy Smoke, man. The difference, man. The media, man. Y'all know what's going on. We up out of here, though.
Each day I wake up and clock in. Know my family been straight, we been locked in. Damn hustle, it's the shit that's designed to keep my mind right. Know a smoke, you gon' pop when the time's right. Let them boys be the block, get they limelight. Out the way, smoking gas, I'm with 9. Know they watching my page and they spying. Try to break in the circle, they spying. I'm remixing the Sprite with the C-Wop. Rolling slow caps with gas at the treetop. Why you thinking us, he got ski mop. I up top, now I guess you get re-rocked. She get D in the line, feel like flesh cops. I be slanging a 3, feel like red socks. I said B's and Sawoo, you get red shots. I'm on one, 38 cut loaded and don't one. Getting in moves about you. All I'm dreaming is the blues. Dreams are real too. What it means telling you. What it means fell through. Ice on, Iceman, ice show. Speed when I blow. 3, mind blown. Freeze, the time on. Delete, on my wrong. Retracing my steps, I'm gone. When I fell off, I turned to a dog. Ran it up, now my money too tall. Selling merch, ain't no tree or no dog. I relieve him, he think he too raw. Summer breeze, smoke his peas in the fall. Glock on hip, got him thinking of fupa. Wasn't like this, but I was influenced. Got dog and it's ready to bark. Dutch road is ready to spark. It's the end, but I'm here from the start. Each day I wake up and clock in. Know my family been straight, we been locked in. Offloaded some dimes off the smoke muscle. While I'm always gon' shine off the damn hustle. It's the shit that's designed to keep my mind right. Know a smoke, you gon' pop when the time's right. Let them boys be the block, get they limelight. Out the way, smoking gas, I'm with 9. Know they watching my page and they spying. Try to break in the circle, they spying. I'm remixing the Sprite with the C-Wop. Rolling slow caps with gas at the treetop. Why you thinking us, he got ski mop. I up top, now I guess you get re-rocked. She get D in the line, feel like flesh cops. I be slanging a 3, feel like red socks. Rolling gas on the tree, I'm with 9.